Namaste. Our touch of light today is called A God-Shaped Hole. I was recently reading an interesting book called Explorers of the Infinite by Maria Coffey. And she says that it's about people who push the limits of any sport. So it's extreme athletes, mountaineers, skiers, free divers, runners, any sport where it's pushing the limits of human endurance and capability. And this woman goes on, the author goes on to explain that in meeting these extreme athletes and getting to know them, very often they were raised in a very spiritual home. Their parents were very religious people, but then at a certain point in their teenage years, they left all the spiritual practices, but it left within them what she called a God-shaped hole. And they tried to fill that by this experience of extreme sports. Well, this is an interesting concept because really within each one of us, there is, one might say, there is a missing piece of the puzzle. There is something that leaves us feeling unfulfilled, as though something is missing in our lives, and we try to fill it up with everything we can think of: cars, relationships, fame, money, all of these things. But there's only one thing that can fit perfectly into that God-shaped hole, and that's the remembrance of God Himself. And so we need to understand that when we go directly to what is the yearning within us, that's how we can feel fulfilled. Once someone asked our guru, Paramhansa Yogananda, "Sir, will I ever leave the spiritual path?" A master's answer was marvelous. He said, "How could you? Everyone in the world is on the spiritual path." Well, what did he mean by that? Does everyone in the world meditate? Does everyone in the world try to seek God? Clearly not. But everyone in the world has this God-shaped hole within them, this yearning for fulfillment. And this is what pushes us forward, incarnation to incarnation, until finally all the toys of the world, all the broken promises that we experience from material things, we finally realize, Lord, there's nothing that will fill this God-shaped hole within my heart except your love. So through the practice of meditation and devotion, we find the missing piece and discover our own true self.